There is my Papa dog, gonna doggy gone. Oh, Papa dog, Papa is the best dog, got a doggy gone. Oh, Papa is the best dog, got oh, Papa doggy gone. Oh, Papa dog, oh, Papa is the best dog, got oh, Papa dog, got the dog, got the dog, got the dog. Oh, Papa is the best dog, got oh, Papa doggy gone. Oh, Papa dog, oh, Papa is the best dog, got the dog. And yes, you have to cuddle. We have to cuddle very much. Every day, every day, every day. A lot of cuddling. A lot of petting. A lot of love. A lot of lover. A lot of love making. Yes. Yes, that is Papa Dog's going into my recliner now. Yes. You can do that. You can go in my recliner if you want to. I'm making a video for you. Yes, checking to see if there's candy left on their desk, but there's none. Yes, 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 Papa Dog. You are my orange god. That is what you are, Papa Dog. You are so, so, so cute and so gorgeous. Yes, the light is a little bit, it is a little bit dark today. But that is okay. You see, I got him a wonderful, wonderful pink fake fur. That is very, very, very gorgeous. Okay, and I made myself a fantastic smoothie that I wanted to share with you. Isn't this amazing? This is, I don't know how much this is, like a quart or something. That's about a quart. And I drink this within the next 2 or 3 hours, little by little, while I'm typing and typing and typing and typing and typing and typing and typing. Yes, and this here is pure vegan health. Okay. I got inspired originally by Izzy Davis and also John Kohler and some other people on making delicious, creamy, and Pamela Anderson was making those too, creamy vegan smoothies. Okay, this one has hazelnut, almond, and cashew milk in it. It has blackberries from last summer in it. Paul picked those. That was kind of him. And it has a piece of pineapple, fresh pineapple in it. And it has fresh cantaloupe pieces in it. And it has a banana in it. So that is what I put in it. And a petal or two of hydrangea flower, which is very good for your dogs, and it's also good for yourself, you know. It is very rejuvenating, and it is also helps a lot when you have back pains and stuff like this. And I have back pain when I wash the dishes because everything in this house is not high enough. It's already high, but it's not, for me, not high. I have a long back, tall, 5'9", and I need everything super high up, you know, like the sinks, for example. Paul had this table, like a wash type of table that he got for camping originally. I have that now in the living room to eat on because the other table where we were sitting on it, I was just constantly like hunched over like this, and it was hurting my back, and particularly my lower back. So now I sit straight on this tall table, and it doesn't bother me that, it feels kind of like, kind of weird, like where the table comes up to here or something, but it's perfect for me because then I have to stretch my back long and I'm not hunched over, and feels good. And I wished I had sinks to wash dishes that also came up to here. Then I could just be having a straight back while I wash dishes. But I have to be bending over like this, and then the negative thoughts from the past come up. They always do. So I always do when I wash dishes, except for one time when I was on Pieris. I don't want to name the entire name, just using the first name of that plant. The plant has a first name and a last name. First name is Pieris. I also nickname him Pierre. I call him Pierre Jardin in my book, my rejuvenation book. Plants they are not liked by the drug mafia. So the plants are always in the crosshair of the farmer and drug industry. So the over the table, the under the table, and the street vendor types, the black market types. None of those. They wash their hands equally, always washing their hands with dirty things. So yeah, and they are kind of working together on this against nature, and that's not good. Okay, it is definitely not that what we want to see in the world, right? So yeah, but that's, humans are corrupt. The human is a corrupt animal, the most corrupt animal on this planet. And it's like an ape. You give an ape sort of those type of things like drugs or dirty crazy stuff, the ape will use that. The ape is not gonna think farther down the line into the future how that's gonna make him feel, how it's gonna affect his health, how it's gonna affect society. The ape doesn't think down that line. The ape thinks right now, right now, joy, pleasure, not even joy. It's pleasure of some twisted pleasure. To me, this here is very pleasurable, and it's, according to Tony Robbins, it's a class 1 experience. Something that feels good, something that is good for you, something that is good for others, and something that serves the greater good. And that's what we want. We want class 1 experiences in this world, and not class 2, 3, or 4. Usually people, when they're striving towards making their lives better, they have a lot of class 2 experiences where they do something that doesn't feel good but is good for you, is good for others, and serves the greater good. So that's better than nothing. But you can, as Tony Robbins always says, you can turn the class 2 experience into a class 1 experience and make it feel good too. And then you have it all the way around good, for everything, good for everything. And so, but the most things that people do, that's the most common thing, is class 3 experience. Something that feels good, but it's not good for you. It's not good for others and doesn't serve the greater good. And that's what the ape does. The human ape does that. And I want the human ape to think. Stop right now where you are, ape, and think and question yourself and question all that entire conundrum that you're involved in. Question it all. Stop right there and turn it around. and look at class 2 and ideally class 1 experiences, and then you have a better life. I guarantee this to you. It's not just some hocus pocus or something that I'm making up or some kind of rabbit out of the hat. It's the truth, okay? I'm telling you the truth. So, but then there's also people who do class 4 experience. Something that does not feel good is not good for you, is not good for others, and does not serve the greater good. And you would be amazed to see how many people do that one too. I see it all the time, you know, when I see dysfunctional people in trailer homes and stuff like this. So I guess somewhere they started out with this quick fix type of thing. That's what the ape does, you know, the number 3 experience, and the quick fix, but not thinking about the consequences. And then it turns quickly into a class 4 experience, which doesn't even feel good anymore, and it doesn't serve the greater good, doesn't help anyone, it doesn't help you. It makes you very sick and unwell, and you know, like gambling or drinking or drugs or Viagra addictions. I've seen those people on the internet. Believe it, believe it, believe it. They are there, and they're old, and they are addicted to Viagra. And some of them are in those live tweets, and they can only think through that lens. No, everything is completely turned into the lens of the quick sexual pleasure experience, yeah, and nothing else. I feel sorry for those people, I really do. It's horrible. Can you imagine what it does to your health, and how it makes you dependent? What if that completely falls apart? Then what you have left is maybe some real miserable memories, and you can't even deal with those memories anymore. It will completely shatter your entire life. So that's why I'm saying, my goodness, provide for yourself right now, you know, like a student who was 16 years old. You know, I had a lot of Turkish friends in Germany. I had a Turkish boyfriend when I was 21, and he was younger than me, and he quit college. And I said to him, that's ridiculous, that's crazy, you know. You need to go back to school, you need to study, you need to provide for your future. And I said that at age 21. Yeah. So I'm amazed that I would say this when I was sitting in a glass house myself. But, you know, I cared about him, so I saw his life better than I saw my own life, you know. I was still smoking, drinking, and partying, and I mean, I just had gone back to school. I dropped out for a few years and I went back to school. So when I met him, I had been back in my college, high school. It's kind of like, you know, it's a little bit, it's not completely equivalent the same at the same time. So we go through high school to the 12th grade. We're about 18 or 19 at that time when we finish Abitur, which is equivalent to about 1 year college in the United States. So then we go over to university, so which is equivalent to 4 year plus college. And then in university we go through 4 diploma, which is sort of more than bachelor's, and then we go through the master's, the main diplomarbeit, and then dissertation, doctorate, research paper, and so on. Yeah, always includes a lot of presentations, which I wasn't up to. But that's a different story. I talked about this in my other videos. YouTube is helping me to talk now, as YouTube is reminding me that just, don't worry about other people. I should have thought about this when I was in class, when my professor asked me to give a presentation, he would not budge. The other ones, I kind of talked them into letting me go, but they wouldn't give me the certificate that I needed, to get into the exam, the actual multiple choice exams that were coming up. So, but except for one professor, she was the best of all. She gave me a certificate for a research paper that I wrote for her just at home. So because that helped a lot of people, because I did a translation on the olfactory system, and that helped a lot of people in that class, and they were all happy about this. I was like, oh, this is fantastic. I'd been living in the US for 3 years. I came back and I was able to do something like this that made me feel better. But the other ones, they would not let me go. They had to demand for me to give a presentation, and there were all these blondish, very austere faced German guys sitting there, and they were all taking themselves very seriously, and they were taking everything very seriously, and they were scrutinizing everyone, and they were looking at me with this what is she gonna? And I was like, I was so afraid. I was just so afraid that I just would not go. And then I would show up at the end of the class. Here, I did a written. Can you take it? No, I don't want to even want to see it. And I was like, okay, I crumpled it up. And I put a lot of work into it. But whatever, yes, this is how it was, and it's very sad. So that's why I'm practicing right now here with my camera, at least, if I feel like I just stuttered too much, or I just talked bullshit, I can turn it off. I can delete it before I can upload it. But I'm trying not to do this anymore. So this is a very, very, very gradual process for me. So how long I have been doing this now? Like since 2006, I have been doing this, making videos. It started very gradually. I couldn't show my face. I had to actually read something that I had written. I was showing my artwork. Then I showed myself like 2 years later, but reading it from a notebook. A lot of people do this, by the way, but they act like they're not reading it. They have a computer in front of them, the camera's on, and they have their page open that they're reading from whatever they have pre-written, and they make it look like this casual, easygoing presentation, But, the same people or some trolls and bullies would come to my YouTube videos and say, I don't know what to think of your videos. You're reading it from a notebook. Yeah, for me, was already a huge progress, right? This is how people are. This is how the mean troll type of people are, They don't appreciate your effort you put into it. They don't understand your past. They don't understand what you have been through or your trauma that you have experienced in your life. They compare you to the highest standards. They compare you to a type A personality, to this super master sociopathic politician charmeur type of guy, the charmer, the actor, the mega self-confident type of person. So that's what you have to level up to, or you're going to be tossed into a garbage can. And that's how it works with humanity. But you have to actually really learn to ignore these people, not just ignore them superficially, but really understand who they are. See who they are. They are obviously very insecure themselves, and they feel the need to put you down because putting you down gives them this momentary, and that's what I mean by ape type of behavior, class 3 experience, this momentary, I can talk myself into feeling good by putting someone else down. That's a class 3 experience, and it doesn't help you. It's not good for you. It's not good for you psychologically because you're lying to yourself. It's an illusion. It's called Maya. It's not good for others, obviously, for obvious reasons. And it doesn't serve the greater good. It doesn't make us stronger. We're living here in a collective existence. If you put someone else down, you're cutting off your own life support down the line, because we're all here together. Now, I realized this, Paul told me earlier about this woman who is in the crosshairs of ISIS, and I feel strongly for her, and I think she is a warrior. She's very brave. I have to say that because she is coming from the mindset of, I'm a warrior to help others to make it better. But the problem is that she has killed ISIS people thinking that she's doing the right thing. But having been a scholar of the Buddha for over 20 years, for me, and I didn't just blindly swallow that information up. I really gotten into it. I really put my mind into it and my psychology into it, and I meditated on it, and I completely get it now, that you cannot create a good world by going into combat of any type, whether it is the US military or ISIS fighters, Taliban, assholes killing people, or Al-Qaeda, or people against people, Middle Eastern people fighting among each other, this group against that group, this group, Christians against those, and always these people colliding and banging their heads together. This constant quarrel, this constant feud, constant wars going on, gang mentality, this gang banging mentality all over the world. I saw a documentary yesterday. It was very revealing about the immigration situation escalating in Germany right now. There's a judicial system growing in Germany that is, it's a so-called sub-market judicial system arising, a judicial system created by Muslims that is functioning undercover, that is eluding the German judicial system completely. People are murdering people, according to the German law, that needs to be investigated. They need to go into court, and that needs to come out to the open. But all of these things are now managed within their own. It's kind of like they're taking their country and put it into Germany, they've taken their country like a sphere, like a bubble, and put it into Germany. Like there's a country now within a country. And this country is functioning within its own mafia judicial system that is handling things with Sharia law and with completely different ethical and moral guidelines, and completely horrible things that are accepted, that are conducted, that all go against the ethics standards of the German society, the German country. And I was talking to people on Facebook about this, and I said that, because I posted, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. This is an old saying, you probably heard it. And I raised the question after quoting this, and I said, isn't this fascism? And I already knew I was going to get into some interesting conversations because of that post. And people were promptly, they already know that I'm a little bit incinerative. So they already come to this with a pre-managed attitude, that lady again. And probably not so much with an open thought process. They don't come to this with an open thought process, which I really want people to do. Isn't that fascism, is my question. And I'm not trying to drive my car against your car with that. I'm raising a question. I'm opening up a conversation. So I want people to go into this, dive into this with an open mind and with real introspection. So then there are people, there are Muslim apologists that are out there. Some of them claim to be atheists. I don't buy into it. People claim to be all kinds of things. There's all kinds of infiltrators and hackers and so on, and people that are trying to completely undermine and explode our value system into bits and pieces and turn us against each other. So this is all going on Facebook, by the way, undetected. Some innocent activists standing in front of this with their hands in the air, not knowing what to do at all, and nobody there to say, wait a minute, this is wrong here, let's protect ourselves, let's straighten this out. No one there. So it takes Mother Nicola to come in there, or, Arla from India, who is much younger than I am, brave woman. So who stands there, and she's completely overrun with these people that hacked into her system, that hijacked her groups, that are managing her groups now. Also, the amazing nerve of these people is just amazingly nervy. So today I'm gonna create a new group. And the new group's name will be Free Thinking and Compassionate. That's what I will call it. Yeah, something like that. Free thinking and compassionate and honest, or something like that. Honest is the key. So so that would be nice to have more honesty on the internet. Can you imagine what it could create? It could create much more education, much better society. But people, they go into the internet with their religion, with their fear of their religion, the fear that their dad has drilled into them about their God. They have to obey by this. They're teenage boys that say, my sister has to wear a chador, or we have the right to stone her to death. That mindset, it's like, they talk about this like, like I'm talking about my smoothie. To them, this is they have eaten that. They have eaten that religion. They have ingested that religion 100%. To them, that is that's the most normal thing there is. Yeah, you know, in Africa, there are people that say, we kill you, see? You know, it's what we do. We kill you. You know, if you come here, we'll kill you, see? This is what we do. Yeah, I'm drinking my smoothie, see? This is what I'm doing. This is the most normal thing in the world. Yeah, my sister can be stoned to death. Just see, it's the most normal thing in the world. It was a very revealing, I already knew this, but you know, the documentary film of this older lady from Germany. She also went to Canada, interviewed people there as well. And it was a very revealing documentary film, and it was published at the German Public Broadcasting Channel. And that's very, very good that she did this. Very brave, you know, and I could see that it was bothering her, all of this. Obviously, you know, she was puzzled by this, and she went around, and she has the right to ask these questions. She asked people questions politely, but she asked the nitty-gritty questions, and all the stuff came to the surface. You know, this is what we're dealing with right now, you know. And there are Muslims on the internet that they're forcing themselves into free thinking groups in order to dismantle them, and in order to turn the people against each other, in order to create total chaos, so that the free thinking will stop. They don't want free thinking. So I said to them, you know, you can, because this is what they say, you know, because I question when in Rome, do as the Romans do, I question that, right? They already know what I'm aiming at when I'm asking that question, because I'm aiming at questioning standards, morals, and cultures, okay? And they don't want their culture to be questioned, right? So they don't want me to come into their culture and question their culture and question their halal slaughter, where they bleed animals to death, with the animals being conscious. Okay? Kosher is very similar to that. And I think halal is even more brutal. So halal is the Sharia law type of slaughter. All slaughter needs to be abolished. It will happen when the AGI robots are here. But right now, people are doing this. And I'm very helpless. I feel very helpless in front of this. I don't know what to do about it. All I can do is I can write, I can alert people about it. I can ask people to sign petitions, to speak out, become politicians, become animal rights lawyers. What else can we do? I mean, this is all we can do at this point, because we have to work peacefully. I'm not gonna become someone like that lady that is now has to live in hiding because she has been in combat against ISIS. So that's obviously not going to really fix anything. Going into combat, you know, hitting someone or being a sniper or being in, you know, working for a military is not going to bring an awareness process into the world. The only way, it's just going to make more chaos and more war and more suffering and hardship. It's just going to turn the opposition more and more into their own fear, into their own religion, into that, the only thing they have ever learned and have ever known. So that it will drive them into it. It will drive a Christian more into being a Christian, Muslim more into being a Muslim, Hindu more into a Hindu. Hindu will probably, you know, if he feels attacked, he will probably see that as punishment by Lakshmi. Then he's probably gonna do something horrible to please Lakshmi. It will just drive people more into the horror, into that what they should free themselves from. what they should evolve out of, but it will draw them more into it. So it's not going to create peace. Adolf Hitler wanted a war to dissolve all wars for the future. Okay, this is the exact opposite of an approach to solving wars, to creating peace. You create peace only with a peaceful means. That's the only way we can do it. It's the truth, it's a fact. The only way we can solve any kind of conflict is if each person introspects and goes within himself or herself and says, why am I feeling like this? Remember to breathe. Why am I feeling this? Why do I feel jealousy? Why do I feel anger towards that person right now? What is that like? Ask yourself those questions. Why is he acting like this? Maybe there's a history behind it. Maybe he is brainwashed. Maybe he is in terror himself. Because no person who is free from fear and balanced and happy would ever bully someone else, would ever hurt someone, would ever be ice cold to someone. Someone who's balanced like Bindi Irwin and Robert Irwin and their mother and the father who passed away. This family, this whole family, it's a family of angel souls. They would never bully someone. They get talked to very aggressively sometimes by journalists, by paparazzis and so on, and they ask questions even though they're rushing to some appointment. They'll still politely answer those questions while they're walking fast. They would never be mean or cold or hostile. In situations where the average person would snap, they would never, ever, ever do this. Why? Because they are in a state of mental balance. Okay? There are very few of those people in the world. So, don't be harsh on yourself when you think now you have to compare yourself to those people. No, not at all. You are where you are. Just acknowledge that I am where I am. I'm not a god. I get very angry sometimes. I'm not a god. I'm not there yet in my own personal soul development. We just have to realize this and make peace with that. I am angry, for example, when you're angry, you say, I'm angry. This is what it is. I'm not gonna euphemize it. I'm not gonna hide it. I'm not gonna run away from it. This is what it is. But I'm not gonna act it out. Because if I act it out, then I make the world worse. And that's what we want to avoid. We want to stop right now with our acting out. We want to do a U-turn, complete U-turn. Want to turn around and go in the other direction towards the light and make the world better. And each of us is responsible to do this, okay? So you guys take care. Bye-bye.